Everyone is a suspect when teenagers start getting murdered in a small California town by a killer in a cheap Halloween costume. After creating one of the greatest horror villains of all time in Freddy Krueger, visionary director Wes Craven redefines the horror genre once again with 1996's Scream. I was in the 8th grade when Scream came out, and it was buzzworthy all around the school. This is the only movie people were talking about the weekend it was released at the theater. So of course I had to see it, and I was blown away. I talked it up for months to my dad until it was released on video, and we rented it and watched it together. And I still remember him telling me when the movie was over, I cannot believe how intense this teen movie was. Scream is probably the best horror movie of the entire 1990s decade, and it redefined the horror genre for the next decade after that. Without Scream, we don't have movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Halloween H2O, Urban Legend, Final Destination, or The Faculty. What makes Scream so unique is that it takes place in a world where horror movies exist, and the teens who are involved all know these horror movies, and they know the rules that these classic films established. If you drink alcohol or do drugs, you're gonna die. If you have sex, you're gonna die. If you say, I'll be right back, you're gonna die. Now on paper, this seems like a gimmick that just totally would not work, but it really, really does work, and it's because of the strength of the cast, which is full of charismatic characters of both past and future stars. And the way the movie story unfolds, it always keeps you on your toes. You never know who is gonna die next. And there are so many red herrings sprinkled throughout the movie that the ending is still shocking over 25 years later. Scream is full of nods to previous horror films that inspired it, but you don't need to have seen those movies to enjoy Scream. And the last time I watched it, I was very surprised at how well it held up. It doesn't feel dated at all. It takes me right back to my early high school years, and really the only thing that screams this is a mid-90s movie is that all the characters keep calling cell phones cellular phones. In a lot of movies, there is a clear favorite character. If you ask somebody, everybody says that's my favorite character in the movie. But in Scream, if you ask 5 different people who their favorite character is, you're gonna get 5 different answers. And I personally can't answer that question because every time I watch the movie, I have a new favorite character. Seriously, if you've never seen Scream, or it's been many years since you've seen it, you need to watch it. It is a genuinely frightening murder mystery that single-handedly reinvigorated the aging slasher genre. Scream made it scary to answer the phone, which may partially explain why in 2021 texting has almost completely replaced phone calls. It took a generic Halloween costume and made it iconic. In fact, it's still one of the best-selling Halloween costumes 25 years later. And it produced one of the best lines in horror movie history. Do you like scary movies? Hanging out in a video store, iconic Halloween costumes, making popcorn, on-set romances, trying to crawl through a doggy door, watching a movie and no one is playing on their phone.